So let's see what we got for video number 2 right here.
See somebody get ran through. So Honest Comedian says y'all bitches gonna love being single until you're in your 80s, no kids, and your family dead. Keep playing. Then Solomon came with the drag. He said, let's have us a more salient conversation. Men have shorter lives than women, fail to create healthy platonic relationships, and neglect mental health and emotional health. Why? He said, we love to use fear of partnership against women, but at the end of the day, men should be fearful of growing old alone. He goes on to say the time we waste performing our masculinity before one another was the time we were supposed to be using to form meaningful bonds. Y'all boys are gonna like this one right here. It's nothing like knocking on 50 in your 15-year-old BMW, high blood pressure in a room with your mama house, and a lifetime of estranged relationships. Wondering why you can't date successfully, so you look for relationships that you can manipulate with money and people you can control, because you have not cultivated an emotional maturity to have an adult relationship. He said, but by all means, let's continue to talk about these women single and gingerly skip over why you single. Solomon said, don't be concerned about women being single. Be concerned about the possibility of a woman being able to cohabitate with a man who doesn't clean his fingernails, believes in do say water alternative, and wants to lead a relationship but doesn't know how to lead his damn self. This one I knew he was coming for the drag. Men round in 30 start all that hating because they spent a decade being emotionally wounded community penis. He ended it by saying you bitter because nobody wants to spend the next decade of their lives fixing your brokenness and your bullshit. What y'all think in the comment section, man? Now, all my grown people.
Okay. Video number two. All right. So Johnny sent this one over. So let's get into it. What y'all think? Go ahead, Chloe. We can get on into this one. Go ahead.
How does man go start off by saying, let's have a salient conversation, and then literally everything he says after that point is the same thing that women do? Point the finger. He literally says, let's have a salient, and I'm waiting for him to say something good, like, yes, let's have this kind. Yeah, he finna be objective. He was not objective. Like, how you gonna have a salient conversation and all you do is flip everything that a man say onto women? Like, how I don't get it. Like, so basically, here, let me get this straight. Just one of the points that really jumped out at me was him talking about men dying first. Okay, men, okay, that's fine. So then that's a point. Men will tend to, you know, not always in every case, but they tend to, because they're hard laborers. Let's just be honest. A man's life is stressful. So they do tend to pass away before women. So is that now supposed to do what for a woman? So you're going to be older, longer by yourself? I mean, I guess I don't get it. Like, what the point I'm trying to make is, your points meant what? So what if a man dies before you? So now, instead of you being able to enjoy this man for the life that he does have, however long that is, you supposed to say, well, since he gonna die first, he should be afraid, and I should feel a certain type of way because I'm gonna live longer. You're gonna live longer potentially without a partner. How is that a win? Like, it's a win, I guess, if you don't mind it. Then hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Then hey, you good. But we're not really talking about women that want to be single, because the women that want to be single wouldn't really be a part of this conversation because they cool where they at. But we're talking about the women that are complaining because they're actually not cool where they at. They, what's the word for it? They content, but they not satisfied. Let's just be honest. A lot of us are in a state of we content with our current situation, but we know it could be better. So we're not completely satisfied. So him making a point about a man dying first is moot. That means absolutely nothing to a woman still being single. And another point he made that stood out to me about, you know, men need to be afraid of being alone. A man will find a wife. Don't y'all always talk about, and when I say y'all, I mean the women that are complaining about this. Don't y'all always talk about how there's more women to men? So if there's more women to men, that means that man has some pretty good odds. If he get desperate enough, he go find him a wife. Because he just gonna go out here and marry The first woman that's halfway decent and halfway whatever he's looking for. He'll take 60% of all the things he wants on his list. Because if he decides he really wants to be married, he gonna find him a wife. That's the difference though between men and women. Because women ain't settling, right?
Mm.
So some of the stuff he said is it's giving pandering. That's what it's giving. I mean, I love having these conversations, but let's have a real conversation. Instead of doing the tit for tat thing, let's actually talk. Let's really talk about what the problem is. He's right about there being men who want to talk about being leaders, but don't know how to lead. He made a valid point there. If anything he said in that was probably the one thing that he said that was valid. You cannot talk about being a leader of a household and you have not figured out, you don't got yourself together. How you gonna lead a household? That's the one thing he said. I'm like, okay, you're right. But come on, some of all of this other stuff is just to take digs. And we've been doing this. We've been taking digs at each other. And it's like we're literally spinning our wheels. We're getting nowhere. And I'm like, if we're gonna have a conversation, let's have it. And
well, I didn't take it in that manner. I took it in the manner of him, like, I'm gonna use Vince as an example. Sorry, Vince, okay? He always likes to tell women at a certain age, oh, you better get a partner. Ain't nobody gonna want you, blah, 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 blah. So I took it, yes, Vince. I took it more in a manner of that narrative is not always true for women. Women do live longer. Women do build stronger connections. Let's take my mother. My dad died, but she's 60 something, 64. Her friends are all 60. They all have this community. Women, we stick together as friends as we get older. We're not lonely. Even if my father died, even if they're divorced, they still have a family with other women. Like let's say you go to nursing homes, they'll tell you facts. Like you'll see men in nursing homes, they don't have nobody to come visit them. The ones that was out in the streets all day being a player and never settled down. But the women still have visitors. We still have that relationship building aspect. So yes, some women might never get married, but they still gonna have that. They're still gonna have a companionship. That's what I think I was taking from it.
So I got you. So let me ask a question to that, Janice. So I know you used the scenario of the nursing home. So is that really from the women being able to build the connections, or is that from people and families in general typically wanting to care or be concerned about the care of the women? Because see, this is the thing. A mama can go out and work, and people will champion her going out and working. But a daddy can go out and work, and he don't get championed. It's just an expectation for him because he's a man. So he's supposed to go to that plant. He's supposed to work them 16-hour days. He's supposed to bring that money home so the family got everything they need. He doesn't get championed. Yeah, that's why we see such a difference between Mother's Day and Father's Day. Father's Day come around, it's like, forget these dudes. Mother's Day come around, it's a celebration. It's brunches everywhere. It's events. It's gospel conferences and concerts and everything else. For Mother's Day, it's roses selling out left and right. We don't see the same outcome on Father's Day, even though fathers is out here putting in mad work. So I'm wondering if that's really these women building connections, or is that just how we are from a society perspective? Go ahead, Vince. You want to say something?
First of all, I never said that, Janice. Since you're going to put me in it. I never said that.
I need you to roll the tape, Price. Roll the tape.
And second of all, I don't know what that young man said. And I don't really listen to men who still got Similac on their breath. Where's his wife at? Where's his kids? I don't really listen to people who ain't had no experience behind them. That's one thing I don't do. I don't listen to somebody who I can't learn something from. He's probably not married, and he's probably got Similac on his breath. So what in God's name do you have to tell me besides who's sweet on the rap music? But that's what you ladies 40 were listening to him. but a senior citizen like the good brother Kevin Samuels, who at least had a couple wives and took accountability for his actions. Y'all don't want to listen to him. Y'all want to listen to a boy. Make it make sense.
My
Y'all
DoorDash
listen
is
to a
here,
boy.
but
A
Kevin
boy
Samuels was
probably.
never.
Wait a minute.
He wasn't married.
Who wasn't married? Yeah, exactly. This little young brother ain't married either.
Now Kevin was married, but
Kevin had two ex-wives.
Yeah, he was married. Yeah.
So my thing is, I never said that. What I said was that as you get older, it gets harder, and it does. That just is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's real right there. That's real right there. Let me swing by Hersh. You want to say anything, Hersh?
I agree. I agree with Vince. Totally. I mean, that guy was just looking for likes. He was just trying to get likes. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he was trying to get some props. You know, like the other guy that got canceled, that Jackson guy, whatever his name was.
Derek Jackson.
Yeah, he was just doing that. But I was gonna say about that video, I mean, what he spoke of was there are truths of what he said. You know what I'm saying? And so it's nothing like he said anything that was like false. You know, yeah, there are truths about what he said, but that's not everybody's situation, everybody's scenario. You know what I'm saying? Like me, for example, I'm in that category where he's talking about, where I'll be 45 in January. I'm not married. You know what I'm saying? I've been around the block, but you know, so my situation was not like because what he just was describing. My situation is because I got married early, got divorced. Then I actually kind of, you know, I actually like had some hope in rekindling something with this particular person. So I put aside everything and everybody else. And I kind of spent a whole number of years, you know, being, you know, in that way, you know, and then I got burnt. So now here I am 20 plus years later where, you know, time was wasted, but that's my situation. It wasn't because of all the stuff that he was talking about, you know what I'm saying? That's so it's like each person's situation is different, you know. And
right. The other thing is I just want to grab one point out of that video from the young fella, and then I'll leave it because we got to cut to the next one.
Can I get a chance to
fellas,
then we get it?
Oh, my bad, John. I'll come to you right after this, man. He said that men are getting in these relationships and are looking for relationships where they can manipulate the women. And I'm like, where is that coming from? Why would we be saying that a man gets into relationships so he can manipulate a woman? Like, let's be honest about this thing. I'm gonna put this question out to everybody who's watching right now. Who's more manipulative, women or men?
Women, hands down.
Oh, y'all said that quick.
I'm good at that. Oh, I got that.
Wow. Appreciate the honesty.
Oh my God.
Appreciate the honesty. Okay. Well, that was the end of that.
Oh, and deceitful, child. Ooh.
And I'm working on that to not be so manipulative because that's a really bad thing. It really is.
It's actually to your benefit that you don't lose that.
Go ahead, John. I know you wanted to say something, John. Go ahead, man.
Well, actually, it's to the point of this is one of the differences again where men and women are not equal, right? When men and women both get old, it's not the same on society for the same as for men and women. Society is actually built for men to die as they get older. We build the society, we carry the society, we make it productive. But when women get old, they don't really build and carry the way we build and carry. They actually don't even do it. So therefore, if you have a lot of older single women, it's left for society to take care of them. And so therefore it's never gonna be looked at the same. The people who build the society, carry the society, that's why they die younger. Because they take the biggest risk. They put the biggest strain on their life, on their health. So that's why we don't live as long. That's kind of what I want to say to that though.
Well, just not to rebuttal, but Netflix did a special on the longest living people in the world. And so if we just basing off America, that's different. Because you go to Italy, some men outlive the women. So I don't know about that, but okay.
Was it a third world country?
No, it was just little places like in Italy, like where the men, all they do is they're sheep herders, you know, which that is a lot of hard work. So I don't know. I guess if we're just basing off of Western society, okay, then we can go with it from there. But In other
Yeah,
countries,
most definitely.
yeah,
Most
in other
definitely, you're
countries,
correct.
men can outlive women, you know, and live the same type of life. But I would say, like the Italy and those countries, they're very big on family and like, you know, community. Everybody getting to know each other. Everybody. America, we're kind of like, I don't know. It's irrelevant right now. My wine and gummies are kicking in. My bad.
All right, let me flip us up real quick. I know we got a lot.